Uhuru!
Uhuru.
Uhuru! Uhuru! We want to welcome everybody who's tuning in for this special pop-up live stream co-hosted by the Uhuru Solidarity Movement and the Black Power Blueprint. We're very excited to be here in the beautiful Aquaba Hall, the
Yes.
home of the Black Power Blueprint. And I'm Jesse, the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, organizing for white reparations to African people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And we're very honored to have with us, I want to salute my co-MC, Stephanie Midler, and the president of the board of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, Ona Zanaya Shatella.
Uhuru. Uhuru.
So yes, Chair Jesse, I'm also really excited to be here today. I am also a member of Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and I have the honor of working under the leadership of President Ona Zanaya Shatella in the Office of the Deputy Chair. I'm the program manager for a program we're going to talk about today called the African Independence Workforce Program. And we wanted to go live today because we have some really exciting updates. As people know, it's Give St. Louis Day is just 8 days away. No. 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. It's a week away. It's on May 8th. Next Thursday, May 8th. And people have already started giving. I mean, we were just looking at it before we went live. We're up to $2,800 that people have donated so far. Incredible. And before we get into the little updates and everything we want to do, we want to shout out all of these amazing donors that have been giving during this early give timeframe so far. So we want to shout out Indigo, Michael, Anonymous, Raya, Johan, APEDF, Carrie, Barbara, Joel, Mark, John, Janice, Susan, Annetta, Franklin, Redbeard, MQ, Ashton, Ruby, Colin, Wendy, Nina, Janine, Mohammed, Leah, Allie, Lauren, our very own President Ona, and myself.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I just want to let people know, for anyone who's not familiar with Give STL Day, this is an annual campaign here in St. Louis to raise funds for local nonprofits. And the theme of the Give STL Day campaign this year for the Black Power Blueprint is Black self-determination, not mass incarceration. And this is not just another Give STL Day campaign. This is an opportunity to truly support the right of the African community to have self-determination, to have political and economic power in their own hands. And this is an incredibly unique, transformative, and positive program that we're really excited to be supporting. And thank everybody that has contributed already, that has gone to givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint. And you can continue to do that even during this quick live stream. People can continue to go to that website and donate, and we will shout you out.
Excellent. Uhuru. So we also just wanted to make a really exciting announcement because we just found out that we have an anonymous donor who is doing a $2,500 matching donation.
Wow.
Yes. So really, really exciting. So I want to say this correctly because I get a little confused, but so we have this matching fund from the anonymous donor for $2,500. So this means we're at $2,800 now.
Yes.
So it means that every donation contributed from now until we hit $5,000 is going to be matched dollar for dollar by that matching fund. So once we hit 5,000, that matching fund is going to be unlocked. So another good reason for people to go to givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint now and keep donating because it's going to get us closer and closer to that matching fund being unlocked.
Yes. So if you go to givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint, the next $2,500 that are donated will be doubled. The impact of your contribution will be doubled thanks to our anonymous matching fund. So thank you, Stephanie. And before we have the opportunity to hear from our special guest, President Ona Zanaya Shatella, we just want to look back on last year's Give STL Day. So many people stepped forward to support the Black Power Blueprint last May, when the focus was to raise the funds for the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe right here in North St. Louis. And we are very excited to say that after an amazing struggle led by APEDF, led by President Ona Zanaya Shatella, with the city of St. Louis to get the permits to open this bakery, which took over 10 months. The permit was acquired and the bakery will be opening.
Yeah.
Girl.
So again, we won. And this was thanks to every single person who's tuning in, every single person who donated, every single person who contributed in every way. The permit was in hand, and here's a picture of members of APDF and also Chairman Omalia Shatella, who we want to salute as well. And this permit on May 24th, Monday, was in hand, and APEDF began the first phase of construction on April 21st. And phase 1, the plumbing, has been completed.
Girl.
So this is moving forward.
Girl.
And this was truly a people's victory. 110, more than 110 supporters came to this hearing. The city had never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
A little so-called 25-minute appeal hearing, I think, lasted 3 hours.
Yeah.
With over 110 people coming out testifying about why this bakery is necessary in this area that is designated a food desert as a result of deliberate city policy over generations. APEDF is making a difference, and the people spoke and the people won.
Yes.
25 people spoke at the hearing. 330 supporters sent in letters and signed petitions to support the opening of this bakery. The Northside Independent Neighborhood Association wrote a letter of support. The St. Louis Business Coalition showed up and showed out in support of Uhuru Bakery and Cafe. Even local politicians wrote in letters of support. Alderman Rasheen Aldridge, Committeeman Anthony Bell, and Representative Anderson gave their support. The APDF was represented by attorney Dan Emerson, who spoke at the hearing, and there were supporters from every front of the movement who came out and took a stand for this bakery.
Wow.
Girl. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
And we wanted to just share a couple pictures of all of the work that has been happening since that permit was in hand. So you can see here just a few pictures of the construction underway. These are your donation dollars hard at work. Here we have Ali from Uhuru Bakery Cafe interviewing our plumber, Rob, and his workers who are removing some of the equipment to begin the installation of the water lines. And then if we go to the next slide, here are some more workers removing the debris. I mean, they had to tear up the floor. Like this was, we got the permit and it started. Like no waiting. They're in there tearing them things up, clearing things out, getting things in. So that's cleaning up the debris to prepare to install some of the water lines and piping. So APDF, the next part, what's happening next with all the donations, all the support that everybody's given, APDF has selected a concrete company to lay the platform and are interviewing framers, drywall contractors, and then we'll hire the Black Power Blueprint HVAC and electrical contractors to complete those systems before the finishing touches are complete. And then the Uhuru Bakery Cafe will be open.
Long time coming.
So I just again really want to appreciate and welcome President Ona Shatella, the architect of the whole Black Power Blueprint. Welcome, President Ona.
Thank you.
And we just wanted to invite you to see if you could tell us a little bit about this latest project of the Black Power Blueprint. I know we don't want to give away too much about the newest institution, the newest building, but if you could give the viewers a little tiny sneak peek, that'd be so great.
Sure. Next slide. So I'm just really very excited. I want to really appreciate Chair Jesse Neville as well as Vice Chair Amanda Corlosi and the entire Uhuru Solidarity Movement for raising resources for the Black Power Blueprint for Give St. Louis Day early giving. Yeah, early giving. This is just the early giving. So the actual day is going to be next Thursday. As Stephanie has said, May 8th is when the final day is. So our newest institution is the African Independent Workforce Program. Next slide. So we are continuing to bring St. Louis back to life from systemic injustice through the community revitalization to transform our health, our culture, and economic future. Next slide. So APDF believes the people are everything. They are the makers of all the change in the world. The Black Power Blueprint is transforming our African community and building genuine self-determination in the hands of the people so we can have our own control for our future. Next slide. So over the last 7 years, APDF has completely transformed the West Florissant corridor with institutions including the Gary Brooks Community Garden, the Uhuru House Organizing Center, the Aquaba Hall, and Karibo rental venues as spaces for the community to gather. The Black Power Blueprint Vanguard Basketball Court, providing high-quality recreation space for our young people, and so much more. So we are building the West Florissant corridor that all of North St. Louis can be proud of, not just a neighborhood, but real communities where we are bringing economic life back to the north side of St. Louis. Next slide. So we have now created the African Independence Workforce Program, which is a reentry training program. We know prisons are a colonial tool used to oppress our communities. So APDF is providing training and services for our people and bringing them into all of these institutions so they can see a positive future and help them to build a career, not just a job. So the mission of AIWP is to reverse the negative economic impact of the colonial economy and prison system. The African Independent Workforce Program is training members of our African community to contribute to a prosperous future through development of our independent, liberated economy. Our vision is our African labor now is producing for ourselves. We're meeting the essential needs of food, clothing, and shelter, and creating prosperous, self-determining African communities everywhere. The agency of African people has been taken away from us, meaning the ability for African people to be self-determining, making choices that are in the best interest of ourselves and our communities without having to rely on anyone else. Our agency must be recaptured and put back in our own hands. We want to get off the treadmill. Every department and organization within the Uhuru movement have a way of sustaining itself. Everybody remember the beautiful Uhuru collectibles, furniture and collectible stores in Oakland, also in Philadelphia. These institutions were developed over the past 30 and 35 years. So now we want to bring the model of Uhuru furniture to St. Louis with Enzo, African styles at home and abroad. Our Uzi, a thread of freedom, and Uhuru Planet, which are revolutionary apparel, to St. Louis under the slogan, Buy Black Power. In these institutions, we will house everything, African prints, everything red, black, and green, everything revolutionary, beautiful African fabric. We will make it a store you would never want to leave. Next slide. So the Black Power, Buy Black Power building would include Enzo products, Uzi products, Uhuru Planet, Vanguard 7 lipstick, African flags, red stars, berets, Bernie Spear publication, including the Bernie Spear newspaper and other publications by Chairman Omali Ishitala and other leaders, decolonize products, small furnishing like tables and benches, pillows, and more. This will be a training site for African Independent Workforce Program where we would have sewing machines, printing presses, embroidery machines for Uzi and Enzo designers to come in and learn and develop their crafts. Next slide. So look at the beautiful Enzo pieces, pillows, beautiful crochet items by All Power Production Creation, and so much more.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
What an incredible vision.
We're very excited about this institution, and it's really going to be beautiful. You know, no doubt, with everything African, with everything red, black, and green.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's going to be a place where you ain't going to want to leave. You're going to want to just sit, listen to some, you know, real jazz music, and just sit back and relax, and also purchase items so we can build this independent African economy for the African Independent Workforce Program.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
And President Ona, like the Uhuru furniture stores, they became economic anchors in the
Yes.
neighborhoods where they were, encouraging like other economic development around them. And you know, this is going to be the case with this institution as well.
Absolutely.
So with that said, that's a little teaser, just a little teaser of what we're going to be presenting during the live event on May 8th. And so if you want to see your donation dollars go to something that is providing jobs, providing training, these resources are staying inside the African community. These resources are battling and reversing the result of the colonial prison system. If that's what you want your donations to go to, you can do that now by going to
givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint.
And don't forget about the matching fund, because
Right.
we want to get that done and matched and out of the way well before next week. And I think we can do it. And another thing is, we see in the news every single day, this administration is cutting more funds from nonprofits. So your donations now mean so much more than they ever have, because like you were saying, President Ona, the people are everything. The people are the ones that provide the stability, the security for all the institutions and make it possible. And that's what we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
Yes, Uhuru. I just want to thank you so much, President Onezane Fatela, and very excited. Like we said, this was just a teaser, a sneak preview of what you're in for when you tune in next Thursday night. We're going to talk a little bit more about how you can register for that. But I did want to thank Kitty, who sent in $20.
All right.
So that means that $20 will be matched.
$40.
$40.
Yes.
So every dollar you contribute will be doubled from now until we raise another 2,480 is left.
Okay.
That's an attempt at quick math. Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. So yes, continue to go to givestlday.org/Black
Power Blueprint.
Let's try that again.
givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint.
And I also just wanted to say, it's so inspiring to hear about the African Independence Workforce Program, because I've heard it said before in the literature around this campaign that this is not just another re-entry program. It's part of a strategy for liberation. You see a lot of so-called re-entry programs that really are meant to somehow coexist with the prison system as it is. This program is a stand against the colonial prison system, against the colonial prison economy, for African self-determination, for the building of power for African people. So it's like the slogan says, it's about reversing and negating the negative colonial impact, the negative economic impact of the colonial prison economy, which is extremely vicious. And we'll be talking about that more on the webinar next Thursday. So I just want to thank everybody who's tuned in. And Stephanie is going to talk to us a little bit about the peer-to-peer fundraisers, another exciting way that people are supporting the AIWP this year. Yeah, we really want to appreciate. We have 8 people so far who have gone onto the website, the givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint website. And there's a button there that says fundraise. There's donate, which is big and green, and we want you to hit that as well. But if you click the fundraise button, you can set up your own personal fundraiser, set a goal for yourself. It'll lead you through the steps, step by step, and then you can promote that to your friends and family. And it's a way not only to let people know about this incredible program and that it's in the world and that people have the ability to support it, but also, I forget what the also was. That's good enough. So I want to shout out the 8 people who have done this already. I've set one up. Like I said, it's really easy to do. Also, we want to shout out Opa, Johan, Ruby, Janine, Aubrey, Brendan, and Indigo for already doing this. Let's get that up to 10. Let's get that up to 15.
Right.
Go on there and hit fundraise. So just wanted to promote that super fast. And I want to also give a special shout out to Brendan, who was mentioned, who is the coordinator of the Give STL Day fundraising campaign this year.
Brendan.
And also there is an award. Okay, so the other thing about Give STL Day I want to say real quick is that there are power hours and awards. And one of the awards, which means that more funds will be made available to the AIWP, is most unique donors, meaning not that every donor is unique in their own way, but meaning that the higher number of donors that we have, let's say we have 100, 200, 300, 500 donors, the higher the number of donors we have, we will actually get additional awards for the AIWP. So get everybody to donate, even if it's $1. Every dollar makes a difference, and every donor makes a difference. So you can go again to givestlday.org/.
Black
I'm gonna get better at that by Thursday. And what we want to do is let's get to 10,000 before Thursday.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and
Yes.
get that matching fund
Yes.
unlocked. Let's bring in the rest of that, and then let's go all the way to 10,000 and then take it beyond that next Thursday for the Black Power Blueprint. So
Yes.
I know we can do this.
Absolutely.
Very much
Oh,
confident about that.
So
Yes.
just another reason to come to the webinar on the 8th, we are going to do never before seen tour of the Buy Black Power building. So no one's been in there. We haven't showed it during any of the tours, any of the live events. So if you want to see what this institution will look like, what it looks like now, the vision for it, you have to tune in next
Yes.
Thursday, May 8th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
And you can register for that by going to tinyurl.com/GiveSTLDay AIWP.
Oh, really?
Right, Aurora.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it at that so that you come next Thursday. Continue to give, donate, givestlday.org/
/Black Power Blueprint.